Hey, what is up everybody? This is Tattoo Bart and welcome back to yet another episode on this channel. In today's episode we are going to talk about the portable tattoo stencil printer by Wormhole Tattoo. I got this sent to me to review for you guys. So we're gonna unbox it, set it up with our iPad and do a couple of prints and see how that quality is, and I'll give you my honest review at the end of this video. So make sure you keep watching until the end to see what I actually think about this machine. So without further ado, let's just dive down and unbox this machine and see what she looks like. So right here we got the very nice box from Wormhole. It's a nice white design. It has all the information on it as well, but it's time to open it up. And right here inside this box we find this nice little protection sheet that contains our Bluetooth printer. Let's take it out and you can see it is a very nice cube sort of design. Some of the other ones are a little bit more flat. This one is a little bit more square and bulky, and I actually really like that. Of course we got a wall plug, which is in my case a European option. You can choose for different options on their website as well, and a USB-C type cable that will help you charge this device. So we're gonna need the tattoo printer app. I already have it installed on my iPad. If you don't, you can get it from the App Store, and I think there's also a QR code on the box that you can use. Now it needs a little bit of time to start it up, and then we are gonna pair our device to the app. So you have to go to my device and you might see a couple of different ones there. Now, if you want to make sure, you can check the model number. In my case, it is showing here, and that is actually the second one that has been showing on my screen. So if you tap that,
Bluetooth connected.
So now that we have our device connected, we should look for an image to start printing with our printer app. So we're gonna go to material and we're gonna hit the plus button. Of course, I forgot to charge my printer, so it does pop up this warning that my battery is dying, but I plugged it in, so hopefully it doesn't disturb us too much anymore. Now I'm going to use this image that I've used for a lot of the printer reviews because it has a realism picture, line works, and some bold and thinner line work. So we're going to use the same image that I used for all the other reviews as well. Now, if you have the image that you want to use, you can hit the print button in the top corner there, and there you can set your settings for your print. We're going to use the medium, and now we are all set. We just have to hit that print button on our iPad, and once we do that, it should start printing immediately. So what I thought was a little bit annoying is that this printer does not have a feed button. So if you are finished your print, you cannot really adjust anything. You cannot send it through the printer a little bit, or when you end, you really have to pull it out. I think that's something that they missed on this printer. But let's have a look at the quality of these prints. This was on the medium setting. Now, if I look at the image, it is quite dark. It is pretty good. If I look at the line work here, it is pretty good. And here we have a design that has some bold and some thin lines. And it was struggling a little bit with the thin lines, but we are gonna try this one more time on a more dense setting rather than the medium setting.
Is complete. Please remove the paper.
So the picture did come out a little bit weird. It does seem like it has a bit more detail. But yeah, also a little light, so I'm not too satisfied with this. Could of course be the paper, but I've had a couple of different papers. This one is actually a different paper. It's a bit thinner, this is a bit rougher. Also, the color seems to be a little bit different. This is a little bit lighter and this is a bit darker, but this is a higher setting, so this should actually be darker, and especially have the smaller lines in a lot cleaner. And it does look like it is a bit more solid on this side with these pictures, or with the smaller lines, which is good. But still, I am missing a fair bit of detail. If everything is one specific line weight, like these two images, it doesn't show a whole lot of difference. I do feel like maybe this paper is a bit better for the more realistic kind of pictures, because it does put in a lot more detail if you compare it to this one. So that was the review of the portable Wormhole stencil printer. A couple of things I really like about this machine. It is a very cool design. It is a little bit different. It's more square built than some of the others, which are more flat and a little bit thicker. This is a nice cube kind of shape stencil printer, which I think is pretty cool. I also like that you can insert the paper and it comes out straight on the back end, and usually it curves quite a bit, and that can sometimes create a little bit of hassle, which is not the case with this one. It's easy to use, easy to get the paper in. But then we come to something that I think is very annoying, and that's there is no paper feed button. So you cannot feed the paper through more than what the printer actually does for you. You just stick the paper in, you hit print, and it just starts to print. There's a couple of reasons why I really like to have a feed button. First of all, sometimes you do one huge ass design and then it's not the biggest deal. You do want to make sure your paper is, aligned, so you can use that feed button if you want to feed it a little bit more, because sometimes you have that excess yellow paper or something from where you ripped it off and you just want to make sure it's going to be on the image. But then, for example, if you do a lot more smaller designs, you might want to feed it through to the end of the paper, so you can actually use the last bit of your stencil paper, cut it off, and use that same sheet for maybe 2 or 3 more designs that you want to print. And that's not an option with this machine, unfortunately. And also, when you are done printing, some of these printers just keeps running to make sure the paper goes like all the way out of the machine, or you can hit that feed button to pull it through. And in this case, you really have to pull the paper with, of course, the risk of tearing your stencil paper or maybe break something inside that machine, because I don't think, if it's meant to be in one position and you start pulling it, you are gonna wear some of the parts, in my opinion. But it does give pretty decent prints whenever you print a stencil. I do have to say, it is probably best if you have a single line weight or like one line weight for your stencil. So if you have a lot of bold lines and thinner lines right next to it, I don't think it is really, keeping the print very consistent with the fat and the thin lines. Or at least that's what I noticed when I was printing it. I do feel like it does print a fair, good picture. So if you have like a realism photo and you just want to use the photo as a stencil without drawing the actual stencil, this machine can print a pretty good realistic picture. So overall, decent tattoo printer. It costs about 165 euros, I believe. So for a Bluetooth stencil printer, this is definitely not really breaking the bank. It is not the most expensive stencil printer that is out there, so it's a good model to start. If you're a beginner, you want to start with your first Bluetooth printer, this could definitely be one. But yeah, like I said, I really miss a feed button, and yeah, it is lacking a little bit in the consistency with different line weights in one image. Now, of course, if you are looking to buy this machine, I will link it in the description down below, as well as a coupon code to give you a little bit of an extra discount whenever you are buying this machine. Other than that, I hope you really enjoyed watching this video, and I wish you all a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.